el subjuntivo con conjunciones adverbiales, or the subjunctive with adverbial conjunctions. So we're going to talk today a little bit about the subjunctive when it is used in sentences connected with adverbial conjunctions. Now, what is a conjunction? Okay, a conjunction is either a word or phrase that connects sentences. Es una palabra o una frase que conecta oraciones. Okay, there are some adverbial conjunctions that actually always use a subjunctive. When you see them, you know that you're going to use the subjunctive in the dependent clause, like a fin de que, a menos que o a menos de que, antes de que, con tal de que, en caso de que, para que, sin que. Okay, let's see a couple of examples of sentences with adverbial conjunctions that require the subjunctive. Okay? Don Juan trabaja mucho a fin de que sus hijos vayan a la universidad. Okay, we have here two sentences. Don Juan trabaja mucho y sus hijos vayan a la universidad. And both sentences are connected by the conjunction a fin de que. A fin de que. Now, a fin de que is one of those adverbial conjunctions that require the subjunctive. So if you look at the verb in the second sentence, okay, you can see that vayan is in the subjunctive. John apaga el teléfono para que los empleados le presten atención. Okay, we have here two sentences. John apaga el teléfono. Los empleados le presten atención. Okay, and both sentences are connected by an adverbial conjunction, and is one of those adverbial conjunctions that require the subjunctive, para qué. So if you look at the verb of the second sentence, or the dependent clause, okay, you will see that presten is in the subjunctive. Okay, let's look at more examples here. El gerente trabaja mucho con tal que la compañía le suba la bonificación. Okay, we have here again two sentences. Okay. El gerente trabaja mucho. La compañía le suba la bonificación anual. Okay, and they are connected by the adverbial conjunction con tal que. Okay, the moment you see con tal que, you know that the verb in the second clause, which is subir, is going to be in the subjunctive. Termino mi trabajo antes de que mi supervisor llegue. We have here again, okay, two sentences. Termino mi trabajo y mi supervisor llegue, and they are connected again by an adverbial conjunction, antes de que. Okay, and if you look at the verb in the second sentence in a dependent clause, you see that is in the subjunctive. However, there are other adverbial conjunctions, conjunciones, that require or may not require a subjunctive. You can use them either with the indicative or with the subjunctive. They may or they may not use a subjunctive. And those are cuando, después de que, donde, en cuanto, hasta que, luego que, mientras que, tan pronto como. Okay? You should, be familiar with them so you are able to sort of recognize when you have an issue. Should I use the subjunctive? Should I use the indicative? Okay, when do we use the subjunctive? You use the subjunctive when you have either a command, un mandato, in the independent clause in the first sentence, or the first sentence is in the future tense. Now, for those of you who do not know the future tense yet, there's another way of using the future tense that you already have a study, and that is ir and the infinitive. Yo voy a caminar, yo voy a bailar. That is future tense too. So either way that you see the future, if you see the future in the independent clause, you're going to use a subjunctive. If you see a command in the independent clause, you're going to use a subjunctive. Now we can see here 3 examples of sentences with adverbial conjunctions in which we use the subjunctive. Let's look at the first one. Devuelve los libros tan pronto termines de leer. Okay? We have 2 sentences. Devuelve los libros. You, this is a command. Devuelve los libros tan pronto termines de leer. Tú termines de leer. We have 2 sentences connected by one of these adverbial conjunctions that could go either way, subjunctive or indicative. Tan pronto. Now, because the first sentence has a command, the verb in the second sentence is in the subjunctive. Voy a viajar a Europa cuando tenga dinero. Okay, we have 2 sentences here too. We have voy a viajar a Europa, okay, y tenga dinero, yo tenga dinero, and both sentences are connected, okay, by cuando, which is one of those adverbial conjunctions. And cuando is a conjunction that is used very frequently. So, because the first sentence is in the future tense, voy a viajar, I am going to Europe, the verb in the second sentence is in the subjunctive. Ginny, ve al mercado en cuanto completes la tarea. Again, we have 2 sentences. Okay. Ginny ve al mercado. And tú completes la tarea. Okay. And they're connected by cuánto, en cuánto. Okay. Which is another adverbial conjunction, en cuanto. Now, because the first sentence has a mandato, has a command, Ginny, ve al mercado. The verb in the second sentence is in the subjunctive. Now, when do we use the indicative? we already have talked about when do we use the subjunctive with these adverbial conjunctions that could go either way. Now, when do we use the indicative? Well, we use the indicative when the action is habitual, that is repetitive, and when we're talking in the past tense. Okay, let's look at some examples. Juan siempre ve a su abuela cuando visita Madrid. Okay. Tenemos dos oraciones unidas, connected by the adverbial conjunction cuando. Juan siempre ve a su abuela cuando visita a Madrid. Okay. Now, are we using the subjunctive here, or are we using the indicative? Now, the first sentence says, Juan siempre, Juan always sees his grandma when he visits Madrid. Since this is an habitual action, Juan always does that. The verb in the second sentence after the adverbial conjunction is in the indicative. Pedro nunca cierra su peluquería hasta que recorta su último cliente. Okay. So we have two sentences here. Pedro nunca cierra su peluquería. Él recorta su último cliente. And they are connected by hasta que, which is one of those adverbial conjunctions that we don't know if we're going to use the subjunctive or the indicative. Now, siempre and nunca are expressions that tells you that these actions are repetitive, are habitual. Therefore, in this example, the verb as after the adverbial conjunction is in the indicative, recorta. Okay, if we change Juan siempre ve a su abuela to Juan verá a su abuela cuando, okay, we're using the future tense, or va a ver a su abuela, that's future tense too. Cuando visite a Madrid, we're using the subjunctive. Why? Because in the first sentence, we use the future tense. Now, the last example is just to show you that if the sentence is in the past tense, like this one, yo fui a Madrid luego que visité a Sevilla, this is in the past tense. You don't have to worry whether you have to use the subjunctive or have to use the indicative. Okay, it's in the past tense. In the past tense, that's it. Okay, I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please let me know.